Okay, good morning, guys. I hope you guys had a great long weekend. And so I don't have any major news over the weekend. That I saw. I know that China they beat their GDP and whatnot. Some tweets by Musk and all that drama. But I hope you guys read the Gamma report. Right, Gamma report today had a lot of details about the calls and put options and how they compare to the last few years and what's exactly happening in the markets. Right, and so let's go over SPX first. Some levels that we'll go over, and so you guys can clearly see a lot of chop here, right? These levels from July, August, a lot of chop is going on here, right? I just see a major pattern forming here, which is not really pretty for the coming months, to be honest, right? I mean, I know we're used to having this rally after a 1 month, 2 month dip, but this time, ever since the last few months, personally at least, I kept my mind open, right? I kept my mind open that if we do consolidate for a long time or we do end up going sideways in the market, how do you want to position myself? And these things, you're going to have to start doing them now. One, we're day trading day to day, right? Adapting to it. But sometimes our mind is so conditioned when the stock comes down, just buy the dip or at a strong support level, which is great if you're scalping. But overnight positions, be careful. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. With today pre-market, we could have been green huge or we could have been deep red, but now the market is, I think, sort of recovering, so we're almost there. Some stocks are green, some are red, but on day-to-day trading basis, so let me zoom into this chart, right? And 4450 is a level that you want to keep an eye on, and as long as we're under 4400 based on the options data, expect volatility. All right, 4450 will be hard, and plus it happens to be the volatility trigger level, right? And then as long as we're under 4400, volatility likely remains. And to understand why, please head over to pre-market prep. Everything is explained there. And then obviously to a downside, we have 4300 as strong support. And then if we break 4300, right? If we break 4300, break of 4300, I would say expect 3,800, 4,000 levels in the coming weeks. Obviously, it might not happen all at once. We might break 4,300, come back to 4,400, who knows? But I would expect 3,800, 4,000 on SPX at least for, and whenever that happens, I don't know, right? So 4,300, just watch it, because then we do have this last support from March, which is roughly between under 4,200. Then we're likely going to break this time. I think we're going to knock on a bear flag here, and then something like this might happen. I don't know, right? Something like this, and then boom, or something according to those lines. However, if we hold 4,400, if we hold above 4,400 and we consolidate above it, and we get some positive news on geopolitical news, and then we have the FOMC next month, and then obviously OPEX, then obviously we can go all the way up also. All right, so keep both minds open. Day-to-day trades, take your profits, no idea what's going to happen. All right, one candle is bearish, next bullish, bearish. It's very hard. And if you're playing to a downside, it will require a lot of patience, even if you're right, because holding through these rips is very hard. All right, holding through these rips is very hard. All right, because then you all of a sudden hear bullish comments and then you become biased. So SPX, the option calls are decreasing compared to tech. All right, there's more activity going on in the Qs than SPY, which is the NQ on triple Q. So you might want to chart this, because this connection with SPX might break. This might have a more accelerated move to one way or the other if the market breaks or goes up. The options in Qs have picked up a lot. They're trading near their highs, like with the volume that's coming in, while on SPY it has actually slowed down. So what you want to focus on in the market is, if you have the Qs, you can simply go here online, right? You don't have to use this website. You can use any website that you wish to, and you can look at the top holdings on the Qs. All right, you can see all these top holdings, and these are the ones that might move up a lot given the current data for the next 1, 2, 3 weeks, however long that lasts. And don't forget that we do have earnings of most of these companies starting next week, or this week in fact, with Netflix, Tesla, and whatnot, right? And so let's see what happens. So paid names in the Qs ETF, these are likely to be more volatile. The structure so far is the same as SPX, so let's see which way we go. Do we break these support, go down, or do we go up? One chart that you want to keep an eye on every single chart is a weekly chart. This weekly is not a pretty sight. They broke below the 50 MA on the first attempt, right? A bear flag broke below, came back up, a lot of people were super bullish here. People were, and it's not their fault. I mean, the market just makes you think that when you miss such a big rally, and then we got rejected right at the 50 MA. And guess what? Market has come down now on a second attempt. Do we hold and go back up, or do we slowly bear flag here and go towards this 200 MA? All right, which I think is likely, and I think it will be healthy for the market if this 200 MA sometime in the near future catches up on Qs. Right, I think that would be much healthier. All right, so let's see how that plays out. Stay open-minded, upside and downside. Apple, keep an eye on Apple. Weekly is completely ugly. Weekly is super bearish, right? And because if this name breaks to the downside, if Apple breaks to a downside, and if it gives up the 50 MA, this is a major percentage in a lot of ETFs, and this is likely gonna tumble down and take the entire market down. All right, this is a multi-trillion-dollar company, so keep an eye on Apple. It has strong support. It breaks 160 on the 50 MA, then this stock is going to be done for a while. All right, we're going to be in a nice consolidation phase, and I think it will be healthy for the market if we do go sideways or consolidate or down for the next few months. That's just my personal opinion, but let's see what happens. Apple above 175, only then I would say the market is fine, we're holding. But if Apple breaks, the market is likely to break. All right, because Apple is the last and the first safe haven for people buying equities, placing their money. But if they start selling Apple, then obviously the markets are in big trouble. Amazon also on the weekly, a little indecisive. It just hasn't done nothing for the last 1.5 years. But if we go towards, so we broke 3100, right? This was to the upside. If we were above 3100, we got to 3400 in fact. So we did get to 3400 on this. And now basically Amazon, all I can see is under 3000 and break of 2900. Expect 2700 or so. All right, expect it. Is it going to happen? I have no idea. But, or in short words, right, on the weekly 200 MA. This is what you guys should be looking for, the weekly 200 MAs, right? Because they're going to one way or the other. These I think likely get touched now. The weekly 200 MAs on many stocks, I think that's how the structure is set up, and then maybe we visit there. Amazon touches the 200 MA. I think that will be a great time to add some equities and some long positions further out. All right. So, and then Hannah, you asked about Tesla. Now I believe Tesla has earnings this week, right? The weekly is not too great, but again, Tesla is performing much better than many stocks out there. But Tesla under 1000, the risk to 50 MA remains, right? Under 1000, the risk to 50 MA breaks. Remains, and if we break the 50 MA, then this can see obviously much lower. All right, expect this. However, we hold above this zone, which is roughly 1090. I'll just say a whole number 1100. We hold above 1100, then we can go obviously to the upside. All right, can today be a full green candle? Probably. Tesla has earnings on April 20th, if I'm not wrong, and their premiums will be a lot on the options, so I'd be careful playing upside or downside. All right, so Tesla here is sort of indecisive. Pressure is to the downside, right? There is a selling pressure here. So if I was to play Tesla personally, I would do bear call spreads. Bear call spreads, basically I sell premium above these resistance levels, and if the market stays weak, and I can nail some profits on those. So bear call spreads is what I would play on Tesla, selling this premium above. If you don't know what they are in sessions, I've explained them, and any questions you can just simply ask me. Gurvinder, Square or Block. Strong support, I think, on the weekly. This is a weekly chart. Again, we rejected the 200 MA. Who would have thought Square was going to come from 280 to 100? But anything is possible. That's why I say expect the unexpected. All right, if these stocks give up a lot, then there is something wrong. And now on the weekly, this is a nice little bear flag, a huge bear flag, and it might take many weeks to play out. But for now, we're just near the 200 MA. From here, the pressure is to the downside to retest the support of 100. If we reclaim the 200 MA on weekly and we close above it, then I would probably play this to the upside. So 200 MA is on the weekly close is what I would look at. Roku, very ugly stock, right? One of the most volatile stocks, went up a perfect double top on the weekly. It does not get any prettier, right? It's a perfect double top, selling pressure, and then ever since, even at this support, it did not even stop. A nice little bear flag, broke right through it, and a bear flag after bear flag. And now let's see what happens here. This is a very strong support zone. Maybe they want to test this zone near 74, and if this stock comes here, it's going to be done for many years, I think. All right, I don't expect this stock just to bounce back to 400. I mean, that's just pure manipulation, but this stock is probably done for at least a few years, and it's going to stay in this big range. So anybody that bought Roku above 230, they think it's a great company, bought equity, they're going to be holding this for a long time, just like people who held Cisco for many years, right? If we zoom out of the chart, all right, when Cisco was also very popular back before the .com. So you see how the document crashed, it was just sideways all these years. So Roku and many other companies are going to follow the similar fate. All right, and it's going to happen, you cannot stop it. Nvidia chips, nothing great. Look at this chart, right? And now it's just on to the start of something. Can this also follow downside? This chart is very similar to Cisco on pre-2000 if you compare it, right? I think I sent the comparison, and now we broke below the 200 MA, and look at this downside pressure, right? Earlier we were bouncing off this support. Last week we did not bounce off it. So to me, Nvidia is a great company. I know their future is great, they're doing a lot of great things, but that does not mean the stock has to go up. Sometimes the company can perform very well, but the stock goes down, and sometimes the stock goes up, but the company performs poor, right? So the price sometimes does not match. So Nvidia, I would say expect 200 MA in the coming months, just by the way the chart is looking. However, if the 50 MA is reclaimed on the weekly, then we can look for upside. But for now, this 200 MA is likely going to get tagged, which is still another 30-40% down for Nvidia. Is it going to happen all at once? Nope. They'll make you bullish on every bounce, and that's what's going to happen. And people will probably not buy puts, because not everyone has a heart to buy puts, even though they pay a lot. All right. And Google, right? Google, Amazon are split names on the weekly. Last week, it went up, but then it just also tumbled right down. All right. So below the 50 MA, and now if 2600 was not held, right, now we have this 200 MA, which is far. I'm not saying we're going to approach 200 MA, but we're likely going to probably test this support right here. With the split happening in July or June, July, this name is, we're going to see some strength. So we see how it performs. And just for the coming years, be careful and see how you want to perform on the stock, right? But break of this support right here, it looks weak. Similar to Nvidia, unable to bounce from these support levels. All right. Long story short, guys, be careful with what you're playing. Personally, I'm doing a lot of bear spreads, and I'm sticking to day trades. Your position sizing in this market will matter. All right. And that's all I can say. It's a very risky market right now, and puts is where the action will be in on the high volatility. Be careful buying calls. I know a lot of things are support. I'm not saying buy puts either, right? I'm keeping my mind open to the upside and downside. All right, or stay sidelined if you're unsure. Just don't get stuck in this downside with further out calls. They will kill those calls. The stocks will probably not see those highs for a long time, unless the 50 MAs are reclaimed on the weekly on many names. Then I would look for upside, right? But for now, day-to-day trades, right? Follow the gamma levels, see where the open interest is on options, and so you'll actually have to study. This is actually a normal market to trade, so it has just become hard. And in this market, trading is hard. But those that will position themselves well, trade small, and will be able to hold on to certain movements and make money off the markets. All right, and with Netflix and Tesla, I have no idea. I mean, earnings we are coming up. All right, I'll go over earnings. I think tomorrow, the day after. We have a lot of earnings coming up this month, so earnings will definitely navigate the market, right? But so far, the charts, the price action is ugly. That's all I can say, right? And let's see if we get the little earnings rip, and post earnings, maybe we get more short opportunities, right? And then we see. But I highly recommend that you read the Gamma report today. It has a lot of information in it. God bless. See you guys back in the chat.